Shemai,
Shemai,
Yasharala,
Yasharala,
Ahaya,
Ahaya,
Alahaya Nawa,
Alahaya Nawa,
Ahaya,
Ahaya,
Achad,
Achad,
Shemai,
Shemai,
Yasharala,
Yasharala,
Ahaya,
Ahaya,
Alahaya Nawa,
Alahaya Nawa,
Ahaya,
Ahaya,
Achad.
Achad.
Hear, O Israel, our God is one. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
So you can X this out. Huh? Turn this on?
Yeah, turn it on. All right. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All right. So first and foremost, like we do every Sabbath, we want to give all praises to the Most High Ahaya. In the name of His dear Son, Yasha'aya, our Lord and our Savior, our King. We're doing something new today. We're streaming off of our YouTube page. So all the people who's coming in to watch, we want to bid you shalom and hope you guys enjoy the lesson. We're going to go into the Apocrypha. We usually go into the law first, but we're going to go into the Apocrypha. I wanted to read, we're going to go into the book of Baruch, the 4th chapter. Okay, so I guess we just do
7.
So we all do each male will take 7 verses.
The last one finish it.
The last one finish it off, right? So same order and they were casing. So
Or you want to have them come and stand up and read? You want to? No? Or I'll just hand them the mic.
you can just hand him the mic, yeah. So he'll hand y'all the mic so that way you guys could go ahead, all right? All right, so we in the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of Ahaya, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to Ahaya are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not unto the Most High.
Verse 8. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. For when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell upon Zion, the Most High hath brought upon me great mourning. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away weeping and mourning. Verse 12. Let no man rejoice over me, a widow and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children am left desolate, because they departed from the law of Ahaya. They knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in his righteousness. Verse 14. Let them that dwell about Zion come and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting hath brought upon them.
Turn it on.
Verse 15.
Turn it on.
Verse 15. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old nor pity child. Verse 16. These have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, and left her that was alone desolate without daughters. Verse 17. But what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate. Verse 20. I have put off the clothes of peace, and put upon me the sackcloth of my prayer. I will cry unto the everlasting in my days. Verse 21. Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Most High, and he shall deliver you from the power of the hand of the enemies.
Verse 22. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save me, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting, our Savior. Verse 23. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but the Most High will give you to me again, with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. Verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. Verse 26. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. Verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so, being returned, seek him 10 times more. Verse 29. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring everlasting joy with your salvation.
Verse 30. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that giveth thee that name will comfort thee. Verse 31. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Verse 32. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. Verse 33. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. Verse 34. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. Verse 35. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting long to endure, and she shall inhabit it of devils for a great time. Verse 36. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. Verse 37. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High.
Aman. So everybody understood what we just read here, right? Anybody would like to expound on what we just read?
Jacob's being seen how. Jacob's being seen.
It's on.
Jacob's being seen how like his people's gonna be
So you
treated.
turn it off. It's on.
Yeah. Sorry. Man. Jacob's being shown how his people's gonna be treated in the earth, and it's like a vision that's given to him from the Most High.
Khan. Anybody else? You can just pass the mic around just for the.
This chapter is basically showing our downfall for not keeping the commandments, and showing what is put upon us now since we're in captivity, and now showing us that we wasn't destroyed, so it's more like a blessing that the Most High is still keeping us as a remnant if we come back to Him. And He shows us if we do come back to Him, those nations that destroyed us, they're going to perish as well.
Khan. Any other sisters would like to expound, or you might have to move up a little bit to reach the court. Speaking to the mic. So you said words of encouragement through.
For example, in verse 25, when he
Right. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you got it. That's true. That's true. Any other sister? All right. All right. Well, um, I wanted to read this because this is one of my favorite chapters in the Apocrypha, or even in the book of Baruch. Um, you know, the Most High telling us to endure, and how he actually sent us away because of our disobedience. So a lot of our people like to blame other nations or other cultures to why us as the so-called black race or Hispanic race for for what we've been going through in the earth when it's really been us, because we failed to keep the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Correct? Khan? So the title of today's lesson is called "The Struggle We Must Endure." Right? It's called "The Struggle We Must Endure," and that chapter just went. The last chapter we just read, just went right in with what we going into. Because the reason why this lesson is called "The Struggle We Must Endure," you guys been seeing what's been happening in the news lately. Not just lately, but in the past couple of years. Like what they've been doing to us. Murdering us, straight murdering us, so everybody could see. The person don't have no weapons. They're not doing no harm, but they're just doing what? Murdering us, right? And this is something that was said that was supposed to happen, right? And in order for these things, or in order for us to receive what we're supposed to receive, these things must come to pass, right? And to somebody who doesn't understand this truth, it sounds kind of crazy, because they're like, why you got to go through so much evil just to receive so much good, all right? But the Most High is only doing that to just what? To awaken His people, to show His people, like, look, your land of captivity was never made for you to live long in. This was never your home in the first place, right? So in order to understand this struggle that we see, that we were actually born into, because before we was even born, the people who were our ancestors who was brought here on slave ships, not just here, but on all the other islands like Haiti, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, all the different islands where our people resides, and here in North America, there was a struggle before that. There was something that led up to this, to where we are right now. So in order for us to understand why there is always an ever-going battle between so-called whites and so-called blacks, let's go into the scriptures and see if the scriptures actually explains this ongoing struggle. Khan? So, first of all, history already shows us that from the beginning of our existence, or from the beginning of our known existence from slavery, we seen that there was always a battle between who? Black and whites, right? Now, growing up and actually realizing that, one would say, why is that so? Like, why can't they just leave us alone and we leave them alone and we just live separately? Why is it that they always got to be in charge of us? Anybody want to take a hit of that? Anybody want to take a crack at why the so-called white race just won't leave the so-called black race and the Hispanic race and the Native Americans alone? Just from from what you know. They need us there. They need us. They're terrified of us. That's a good one. Okay, so two of the sisters had the same response. They're terrified of us, and two reasons. Well, they need us because empire is not going to run itself without what? Slaves and workers, right? But the key word was that they're terrified of us. And why do I say that? And why do you guys? Matter of fact, why do you guys saying that they're terrified of us?
Because they know how powerful we will be if we all come together.
Okay, they know how powerful we will be if we come together. They know that we are the chosen people. All right, look at your neighbor and say, we are the chosen people. Look at your neighbor and say, we are the chosen people. We are the chosen people. Despite what anybody got to say, we are the chosen people, right? Now, their hate for us won't let them see that. because I know, one of them would probably come across this video and be like, who told y'all the chosen? Look at y'all conditions. Look at where y'all live, and y'all gonna tell me y'all the chosen? But they don't understand the prophecies written in the book. But let's get right to the to the gist of it, and get into the beginning of that so-called struggle between the so-called white race and the so-called black race. Well, and the Bible calls them who? Jacob and Esau, right? So we're gonna go into the book of Genesis, because we have to understand this struggle. We got to understand this struggle that we all were born into. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe in the Bible or not, you were born into a struggle. And that's something that everybody has to come to an agreement with. Whether you don't believe in the Bible, whether you believe in a different way of life, according to the scriptures, everybody in this room and everybody that's operating outside was born into a struggle. And we're going to read that struggle from the beginning, how it all started. Right? We're in the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter. So we in Genesis 25, and we're going to take it at verse 19. Give us 1 second, everybody. I'm just trying to make sure the stream is up and running. Well, the stream is up.
So I screenshotted it so it looks like this until I click it. That's all it's there.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm gonna take it back.
All right, so we in the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter, right? We're going to start at verse 19. Let's read the beginning of the struggle that we all sitting here was born into, right? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian, of Padam Aram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. 21. And Isaac entreated the Most High for his wife, because she was barren, and the Most High was entreated of him. And Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Most High.
So we see in the beginning, Abraham had a son named Isaac, right? Then Isaac had a wife named Rebekah. And Rebekah, she couldn't have children, so what? Isaac started to pray and ask the Most High, bless my wife, let her be able to give birth. So now that she was pregnant, she was pregnant with what? Twins. And it said that the children struggled within her womb. So now we see that the struggle started as soon that these two boys was conceived, right? So let's continue reading. Let's get some more on that.
Verse 23. And the Most High said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
So you see, two different nations were in her womb. So that means 2 different type of people would come out of this one black woman, right? You guys understand that sitting here, right? So this is a phenomenon. This is the first time this ever happened in the history of mankind. That one woman would give birth to 2 different type of people. Because read that part again. It said what?
2 nations are in thy womb.
You see, it says 2 nations. And when you have a nation, and it says nations plural, so that means it's 2 different. One would be one race, and another one would be what? A different race, right? Continue reading.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
And you see, it says 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So even though that there are twins, they will be what? Different. In the way they look, in appearance, the way they act, right? Continue reading.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
And look at the word that the Most High used. He said, and one people shall be stronger than the other people. So that's 2 different races there that the Most High is talking about. So he said one race of people will be stronger than the other race of people, right? Go ahead.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
And here it goes. And the elder, the oldest, shall serve the what? The younger. So now we're going to see who was born first and who was born second, because one race would be stronger than the other race, and the older one out of the two siblings would serve the what? The younger one, right? Continue reading. Verse 24, right?
Verse 24.
Go ahead.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled,
And when the days for her to be delivered was fulfilled, go ahead.
behold, there were twins in her womb.
You see that? They were twins. So now, this is the question. Does anybody here know what twins look like? What are twins? They're identical, or they could be fraternal, right? But if they're fraternal, what that could mean? They look different. But in this case, these twins were not just fraternal; they were different in everything, in every characteristic, in look, in feel, in the way they act with each other, the way they interacted with people, the way they did things. Because the scriptures are going to explain it. Watch. Continue reading.
Verse 25.
Uh-huh.
And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment.
You see, and the first one, which was the eldest one, he came out red, like a hairy garment. Now, when you see somebody who's born red, is that a black person? We're going to get more understanding there. Let's continue reading so you can see. Go ahead.
Verse 25. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment.
So this one was born red, but he was hairy. All right, go ahead. That was one of his characteristics. Go ahead.
And they called his name Esau.
So they called his name Esau. That's the firstborn, Esau. Go ahead.
Verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And after that came out his brother.
So hold it right there. So you see, you guys caught that? It says the first one came out what? Red and hairy like a hairy garment. And the second one, it says, and the second one just came out. Why didn't they explain the second one? Because that's how everyone already looked. Because when Esau came out, it was a phenomenon. This is a new race of people being born on earth, right? So now, when you look at today, when people are born, right? People who are fairer skin or who don't have no melanin, what color are they when they're actually born? They're pinkish red, right? So Esau is the father of what? The so-called white race, the Caucasian race. You guys are gonna see. And Jacob is what? The father of who? The Israelites, the blacks and Hispanics, right? And they didn't have to explain him because he was normal, right? So read 26 again.
Verse 26.
Go ahead.
And after that came his brother out.
And after that came his brother out. Go ahead.
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
So now we see that when the oldest one came out, he came out regular, but they had to explain his physical characteristics. But when the second one was coming out now, what did the second one do? The youngest one did. Read that part again.
And after that his brother came out.
And after that his brother came out and did what?
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
And his hand took hold of Esau's heel. Right? So the first twin came out, and then when the second one came out, he had his hand wrapped around his brother's foot. So now we gotta figure out what that symbolizes. But I want to keep reading. So I want to get some physical characteristics of these two brothers. It's gonna explain it. Continue reading.
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
See, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. Go ahead.
And his name was called Jacob.
And his name was called Jacob, or in the Hebrew, Yaquab, right? Now let's get some physical characteristics on the difference between these two nations, these two boys. Go ahead, verse 27.
Verse 27.
Uh-huh.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter.
So it says, the boys grew now. Now they're becoming themselves. But it said Esau. One of the most famous characteristics of Esau was what? That he was a cunning hunter.
To be cunning.
He was cunning, so that means he was smart the way he hunted. You guys are gonna figure this out. Go ahead.
Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
A man of the field. So now, we don't even have to look at history. We could just look at modern day, in your face people.
Alligator wrestling.
Who do you see are men of the field and like hunting and watch that? Look at that deer. Isn't she a beaut?
Or he on themselves.
Yo, I'm talking about they're so cunning to the point where they figured out how to make different animals come to them. Like they would pour, excuse my language for those online, they will pour the opposite sex pee of a deer on themselves to have to attract a female deer to be able to hunt that. Who would think of this? You know what I'm saying? And there's a show, I forgot the name of the guy, Man versus the Wild. I don't know if you guys know that.
That is what it's called.
Man versus Wild, right? This Caucasian man just finding different ways on how to survive in the wild. I don't see no brothers doing that. No brothers making no show and say, yeah, this. So we out here in the forest and we're gonna show y'all how to hunt. Read the characteristics of Jacob real quick. What's Jacob's characteristic?
And
Wait, no, first of all, read Esau again.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 27.
Go ahead.
And the boys grew,
See, the boys grew.
and Esau was a cunning hunter,
He was a cunning hunter. He was always outside in the field. Go ahead, a man in the field.
a man of the field.
Running around wrestling with rats and making raccoon hats. That didn't come from us. That didn't come from us. That came from Esau. Look, Dad, I got a raccoon hat. Jacob don't need that. Now let's read Jacob.
A man of the
A
field.
man of the field. Let's go to Jacob.
And Jacob was a plain man,
And Jacob was a plain man. Jacob always chilling,
dwelling in tents.
dwelling in tents. Call up your boy, yo, what you doing? Chilling. Just in the crib. That's Jacob. So you see that we still kept those two characteristics. One is always outside, gotta be adventurous, and the other one gotta be calm. Huh? No audio. Hold on. Let me figure this out. I don't know. See if they can hear it now. Let me figure this out before we continue.
This is good and juicy.
All right. Just tell them to text the chat to see if they have any audio issues. Huh?
No, this
No,
has a chat.
This has a chat. The YouTube page has a chat. So if you're online and you're watching and you don't
Tasha's
have
good. Tasha can
and you don't have any sound, please text the chat so we can know and we can try to adjust it.
Okay, good, yeah.
All right, good. All right, so like we were saying, Esau was the one always running around. You know what I'm saying? Playing with deers and wrestling with cats and Jacob. Read Jacob again. I got to get this part again for Jacob.
Verse 28.
Yeah.
No, verse 27.
Verse 27.
And Jacob was a plain man,
And Jacob was a plain man,
dwelling in tents.
dwelling in tents, just chilling or just on the block. You understand? Not doing nothing wild or crazy. You see, for us, we could just be sitting down playing dominoes and having a good time. With them, yo, let's go jump this gorge, man. Let's go skydiving. They got to do something extra because why? They're people of the field. They're always, you understand?
Adventurous.
They're adventurous. That's just them by nature. And that's how we were able to identify the two races, the two nations. Because one don't have to do much just to have fun.
Exactly.
It's just now that we just been integrated into this society that our people is trying to do more things than what Esau is doing. But in all actuality, in our spirit, we could just be sitting down just having a drink and we having a good time. But them, it's not a good time unless they getting wasted or getting chased by some kind of animal. Or trying to figure out why polar bears look the way they look. And you understand what I'm saying? That's them. They're so concerned with nature. They even build wildlife funds.
Or going after that sound that they hear in the house.
Yeah, like trying to figure out what's making that sound, or you understand? Like that's just Esau by nature. You understand? I mean, they take nature to such an extreme that you'll get more time for killing an animal than killing a human being.
Mm-hmm.
That's just Esau.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So where you was at?
Verse 28.
Verse 28. Go ahead. Well, that's it. I just wanted to get the characteristics of the two different nations or the two boys. So we know one would eventually become what? The Caucasian race, and the other would eventually become what? The Black and Hispanic race and the Native American Indian race, right? So I wanted to take a look at verse 26 again, because like we said, this is the origin of the struggle. So go to verse 26 and read verse 26 again.
Pat, that text has a kind Sharika. Pat, text has a kind Sharika, the YouTube channel. The channel to tell me. 26?
Yeah, we're going to read verse 26 again. Go ahead.
Genesis 25, verse 26.
Go ahead.
And after that came his brother out,
See, after that came his brother out,
and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. So hold it right there. I want to analyze this verse right here. Why is it, and what's the meaning behind Jacob holding his brother's heel? Because the prophecy said that the older would what? Serve the younger. So who came out first? Esau. And the younger is who? Jacob. So it says the older shall serve the younger. And now we see here when the youngest one was coming out, he was holding on to his brother's heel as he was coming out. Now let's get the meaning of this. We're going into the Apocrypha. And for those who are online who don't have the Apocrypha, this is the book that we're going into right here. This was a part of the first and original King James Version Bible 1611. So we're going into 2nd Esdras, right? Chapter 6. And we're going to take it at verse 8. And this is the meaning to why the youngest son was holding on to his oldest brother heel. There's a meaning behind that. And we're going to see that we're actually living this meaning as we speak. Go ahead.
2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 8.
Go ahead.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
So you see that? It said from Abraham to Isaac, when Jacob was born, and Jacob and Esau was born, the twins, Jacob held fast the heel of his brother. Why? Go ahead.
For Esau is the end of the world,
For Esau is the end of the world. Go ahead.
and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So when we look at verse 26 in Genesis, when Jacob was holding on the heel, what does the heel represent? The heel represent the end, right? So it says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is what? The beginning that follows. So meaning after Esau's rule and dominion comes Jacob's kingdom and rulership. And this is the struggle that we've been born into, whether you like it or not, whether you believe in it and whether you don't believe in it. Because pretty soon we all gonna see this struggle come out. Well, we're living the struggle, but pretty soon we're gonna see our kingdom return, Khan.
God.
So now, in order to understand this now, right? Well, I don't want to go into that. Let me just say this. The fact that the struggles between Jacob and Esau in modern day is heightening and is increasing is because why? Their world is ending. Their kingdom is ending. Their power is ending. And whose kingdom is next? They know our kingdom is next. And why did Christ come? Let's get that real quick. I didn't put this down, but I want to read this so we could get some understanding why Christ actually came and what he was trying to do and what he was preparing his people for, what he was preparing his people to receive. Because if Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the next one that followeth, we got to know who Jacob is. Jacob got to understand that his kingdom is next. And if Jacob does not understand his kingdom is next, then we will have no kingdom. So we have to wake up Jacob so that what? Esau's kingdom could end and our kingdom could come. Khan?
God.
So we in Matthew 5. Well, sorry, Matthew 10, 5, and 6. We're in the book of Matthew. So now we're in Matthew chapter 10, starting at verse 5. So now this is what Jacob have to understand. And this is what Christ was bringing forth when he was on the earth. His mission to why he came. Go ahead.
St. Matthew chapter 10, verse 5.
And before you go into that, I know a lot of people, and especially the Christians, the Christian church, because I grew up Christian and I was taught that Christ came for the whole entire world. But you have to get understanding on that. You have to understand what Christ is saying. Because if he came for the entire world, why is he saying this here in this particular chapter? So we gotta agree with what Christ is saying here, Con. So we're in Matthew the 10th chapter, starting at verse 6. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. These 12 Christ sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles and into any city of the Samaritans.
So hold on. If Christ came for the whole world, why is he telling his disciples do not go into the way of the Gentiles or the land of Samaria, which was actually full of Gentiles? Why is he saying that? Continue reading.
Enter ye not. Verse 6.
Go ahead.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go where?
Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
And do what?
And as ye go,
And as you go,
preach, saying, The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
see, and as you go, preach and tell them that the kingdom of what? Heaven
Heaven.
is at hand. So if the children of Israel don't even know, well, first of all, they don't know because why? They are the lost sheep. That means they have lost their way. So if the sheep have lost their way, how can they come back to their kingdom if they don't know that they have a kingdom waiting for them, right? So Christ came to preach to them that which was lost. So this is the reason why they're terrified and they're scared of us. Esau, right? This is why they're getting the okay to start killing us in mass numbers and to actually start, broadcasting it. And the reason why they're broadcasting it is because they're showing us, look, we're killing you guys and there's nothing you guys can do. But they don't understand or they don't know that there is something that we can do. Those who are Christ, we fight them spiritually. We come back to the law, statute, the commandments of the Most High, and we keep his commandments, and we what? We stay safe to where we can receive his kingdom. Those of our people who don't believe in Christ and who's not keeping his commandments, they're already gone already. So that's why it's our job for us who can see and who understand. We're supposed to teach our people to come back to the Most High, right? And we're going to see that later on in this lesson. So now we got the understanding to why Jacob was holding on to his brother's heel when he came out. Because why? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is what? The beginning of it that follows, right? So now the story goes on. The boys grow, and there was a time where Esau was hungry, and he sold his birthright to who? To Jacob. So that birthright that he sold was actually the blessing that we received and that we're gonna actually obtain towards the return of Christ. So that since he despised that blessing, we received it. But since we received it, what happened to Esau? How did he feel? Now we're gonna read it. Let's go back to the book of Genesis. Going to Genesis, the 27th chapter, where after Esau sells his birthright, and our father Isaac blesses our father Jacob to receive the blessing. Now let's see the blessing that Esau received. So we in Genesis 27, and I want you to take it at verse 38. Yeah, go ahead.
Genesis 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
So you see, Esau came in the room right after his father, blessed Jacob with the blessing. And now he's mad, he's upset. He won a blessing too, but he forgot that he actually sold the blessing to his younger brother. Remember the prophecy, the older shall serve the younger, right? Continue.
Verse 39.
Uh-huh.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of the heaven above.
So you see, he says, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of the heaven above. Meaning everywhere you go, he's going to take dominion. That's Esau. Go ahead.
Verse 40. Verse 40.
Uh-huh.
And by the sword shalt thou live.
By the sword shalt thou live. You see that? So that was Esau's blessing, to live by the sword. Go ahead.
And shall, verse 40. And shall serve thy brother.
So now let's examine this. By the sword shall thou live, right? It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. Meaning the only way Esau would be able to survive or to obtain the fatness of the earth is what? By force. And when we look at history, who are the ones that go on conquering nations and stealing nations? Wasn't it always the Caucasian race, starting with the Greeks and the Romans? Well, actually starting with Esau, but then they became the Greeks, they became the Romans, and now they're what? They're still the Romans, but they're masked themselves as what? America. They go on conquering, they steal by conquest. That was Esau's blessing, to have weapons, to live by the sword. This is why Jacob can't just physically destroy, even though we're stronger than them physically, but they're stronger than us by their weaponry. You understand? That was their blessing. Okay? Who would think to build a bomb? A bomb that could just not just kill your enemies, but kill yourself as well too. You know what? I'm tired of this. Push the button, and everybody is gone. You understand? That's just the mentality of Esau. If they can't have it, no one can have it, right? The weapons that Esau have, it's only by the grace of the Most High we're gonna make it out of this, because I don't have a weapon that could shoot someone from space. Like, they have that. These y'all laughing, but they have weapons like that. They have lasers. Y'all think lasers is some comic book joint, but that's real. Like, Esau has that. So continue reading. I don't want to keep going off, but
The middle of verse 40.
now read verse 40 from the top again.
Verse 40.
Yep.
And by thy sword shalt thou live,
By thy sword shalt thou live,
and shalt serve thy brother.
and shall serve thy brother. So initially he's supposed to serve us. But you guys gotta understand that in the beginning they were serving us until something happened. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass,
It shall come to pass,
when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
so you see, it says that it shall come to pass that there's going to be a time where Jacob would lose power, and they will have dominion and do what? Break the yoke off that we had on them off of their necks. Meaning they will not be servitude to us anymore. Why? Because we lost, we fell. And the only reason why we fell was what? Not keeping the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. And they proved that, and that was proven through history in 70 AD. The last stand that we had in Jerusalem, when the Romans build a trench around Jerusalem, and then what? Those who took heed to Christ's prophecy ran into Africa. That was one of our last stand. And then when there was a time in Europe called that these so-called scholars call the Dark Ages, when King James was actually on the throne, which was a black man. That's when the Europeans came, or Esau came and took down King James and took down all of our prestige blacks that was ruling Europe, and they put themselves in power. This is why you have the Prince Charles and the Queen and all that over there. They're really Germans. They're not of the bloodline. They're not English. They're Germans, but they mask themselves as royalty because they took down our people. So there was going to be a time where Esau was going to gain dominion, and we're going to lose power. Go ahead.
Verse 41.
Uh-huh.
And Esau hated Jacob.
And see that? And Esau hated Jacob. Why? Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing that he received. So Esau is probably sitting there like, so you mean to tell me the only way I could receive anything is by violence and by stealing with weapons? So he's upset about that. And he's upset that he has to serve. Now he understands that, I gotta serve my younger brother. No, the youngest brother, the oldest brother never want to serve the youngest brother. We can see that in our lives today. Right? So go ahead. Where you at?
Verse 41.
Verse 41. Go ahead.
And Esau hated Jacob.
And Esau hated Jacob.
Because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him.
You see that? With the blessing that he received. Is that it on 41?
Now I could read the rest of it.
Go ahead.
And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
So you see that? That was the beginning of our struggle right there. He said the days of mourning for my father will be at hand, meaning there's going to be a time where my father Isaac is not going to be here on this earth. When he dies, I'm going to kill my brother. Excuse me. Right? So we see there at this point in time, Esau vows to do what? To kill Jacob. So that even includes what? His offspring. Right? So now let's go and let's read certain times in Bible history of Esau's hatred towards his own brother, right? Because we don't like it would be too easy for me to just start pulling up recent history of the so-called white race killing our race. That's easy. But let's look at it biblically to see how long they've been holding this hatred in for our people, the children of Jacob, the children of the Most High, the chosen. Let's go to the book of Numbers. We're just gonna get a few examples of Esau's hatred towards his own brother. We in Numbers, the 20th chapter. Shalom out. All right, so we in Numbers, the 20th chapter. We're going to take it at the 14th verse.
The book of Numbers, chapter 20, verse 14.
Go ahead.
And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom.
So this is the time frame where Moses and the children of Israel were, they left Egypt and now they're in the wilderness. Now they're walking through the wilderness. They're trying to find safe havens to walk through, so that way we could reach the promised land. But we're gonna see something here that our brother Esau was doing to us, right? Go ahead, read that from the top again.
Verse 14.
Go ahead.
And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel.
So you see, he sent messengers to Edom, to Esau, and said, thus saith your brother. Remember that we're brothers, because they understood that they were brothers, right? Jacob and Esau are brothers. So this is what Moses told the messengers to tell Edom. Maybe he could have some compassion towards his own brother, right? Go ahead, read that again.
Thus saith thy brother Israel.
Go ahead.
Thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us.
So he's basically telling me, you see what happened to us, man. You see how we came from Egypt. Like, he's gonna explain it. Go ahead.
15. How our fathers went down into Egypt.
Go ahead.
And we have dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. And when we cried unto the Most High, he heard our voice, and sent an angel, and hath brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy border. Verse 17. Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields, or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn into the right hand, nor to the left.
Continue reading.
Nor to the left, until we have passed thy borders.
So you see that? So Moses is asking the king of Edom, just let us pass through, your kingdom. We're just trying to get from one point to another point because we've been walking around and the borders is too long. So if we cut through, we could get there faster. So now let's see what the king of Edom does. He's supposed to be our brother. Go ahead.
Verse 18.
Verse 18.
And Edom said unto him.
And Edom said unto him what?
Thou shalt not pass by me.
What?
Thou shalt not pass by me.
Edom said, thou shalt not pass by thee. Go ahead.
Lest I come out against thee with the sword.
Look at that. He said, lest I come out against thee with the sword. Here we are, the children of Israel, just trying to seek refuge, coming peaceably like we usually do, not doing nothing, just selling CDs, or I'm just walking to the store, and here come Esau. Hey, what you doing over here? Put your hands up. That's been happening since back then. We couldn't even pass by his community just to get through a safe haven, and that happens now. Even when we walk through their community, they just looking at us a certain way. Next thing you know, you got cops rolling up like, yo, what are you doing over here? You don't belong here. Read that part again.
The book of Numbers, chapter 20, verse 18.
Go ahead.
And Edom said unto him, Thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword.
See, lest I come out against thee with the sword. So he's looking to kill his brother Jacob still. Go ahead.
19.
Yep.
And the children of Israel said unto him, We will go by the highway. And if I and my cattle drink of thy water, then I will pay for it. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet.
So look, now we're starting to beg him like, yo, please, like we just want to pass through. And if any of our cattle drink, even taste from your water, we're gonna pay for it. We don't want none of your stuff. We don't want nothing from you. We're just trying to walk. We're just trying to live in peace, like how we doing now. We're just trying to live in peace, trying to leave them alone. But what? They still seek our lives. Same thing been happening back then is happening now. This is why I've been saying we've been born into this struggle. So when we see these things amplify or magnify itself on the earth, we got to understand where it came from and understand that our salvation is near. Continue.
Verse 20.
Yep.
And he said, Thou shalt not go through.
See that? Still, even though we begging and pleading with him, still had a cold heart against his brother. Nah, we're not letting y'all pass. Go around, walk the long way. Go ahead.
And Edom came out against him with much people.
And look, Edom came out against us with much people to show us his strength. Like, look, I told y'all not passing through. It's either y'all go around or y'all all getting slaughtered. Same thing from happened yesterday, happening now. Back in the time in the South, what we had to do, sit in the back of the bus. We had different water fountains. That same spirit was back then. It just went from generation to generation. And eventually that spirit is going to be ceased, because why? We will have dominion and have power and have the kingdom. Thus save the Most High and thus save the Holy Bible. Go ahead.
And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand.
See that? With just weapons. Go ahead.
21. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Wherefore Israel turned away from him. Verse 22. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came unto Mount Hor.
So you see that? So he would not allow us to go through. We had to go around. And he even came out with threats. Like, look, we're not even trying to help y'all. So this is what we have to understand even today. These people are not looking to help us. I'm saying that because, you know, the place that brought us, the people who brought us over in slave ships, right? They're not looking to make us equals. We got to understand that. And it's all right, because we know we're not equal with them. But to try to seek equality from a place that was never built for us, that's not even logical. So the best thing for us to do is to just respect these people, leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Especially for us, especially the young men that sit in the room. When you see these cops roll up on you and question you, just be obedient. Don't put up a struggle. Because why? All they doing is flexing. They're trying to show you that, I got the guns, I got this, I got that. You don't got no guns and no weapons. We got heart, but we don't got weapons. They have it. So we got to know when to yield. Christ said, I send you out into the world like sheep amongst wolves. Be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. So when you see our people out there acting out with the cops, and that's not going to be to your benefit, because Esau was blessed with the military might. You know what I'm saying? They got weapons in space. They can take you out. We don't got that. So we got to know when to yield, as Christ says, right? So you see, that even Bible history shows you that, you know, that struggle from the beginning, and that what we're receiving now has always been there. Let's look at another example. Let's go to Psalms 137. We are in Psalms 137, and this is a good prophetic chapter. If you ever get a chance, you can read it on your own. This is a good prophetic chapter. I'm not going to read the whole chapter. We're just going to read 2 verses out of it. We're going to go to 137 and verse 7. Another example in the scriptures of how Esau, but there's countless of examples of Esau's hatred towards his own brother in the Bible. But I'm only going to read a couple because I don't want to, keep beating a dead horse. Right. Continue.
Psalms 137, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
He said, King David is saying, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom. Go ahead.
In the day of Jerusalem.
In the day of Jerusalem.
Who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
And what is David talking about? David is seeing a prophetic time when the Romans actually came in during 70 AD and sacked Jerusalem, plundered everything, killing our young, killing our old, and just taking us into slave ships and doing the worst to us. And even in that time, they was like, yo, just destroy everything, take everything, raise it, right? Another example of Esau's hatred towards his own brother. Continue reading.
Verse 8.
Verse 8.
O daughter of Babylon.
O daughter of Babylon. The daughter of Babylon is what? Here in America, where we would be eventually sent to. Go ahead.
O daughter of Babylon.
O daughter of Babylon. Go ahead.
Who art to be destroyed.
Who art to be destroyed. Go ahead.
Happy shall he be.
Happy shall he be.
That rewarded thee as thou hast served us.
That happy shall he be that rewarded thee as how you rewarded us. Everything that Esau did to our people has not gone unnoticed. You think all the bloodshed that's in the street, the Most High don't see it? The Most High sees it all, but he will repay. That's why the scripture tells you what? Vengeance is for who? The Most High. So now, let's read some of the judgments that Edom will receive. But one thing I wanted to also point out was that in Genesis, I believe is the 33rd chapter, Jacob and Esau did make a pact with each other. They did have a truce. Esau did forgive his brother when he did swear he wanted to kill his younger brother. But the sons of Esau lived on with that same fuel and that same hatred. They didn't honor the pact that their father made with our father Jacob. You guys understand that? So now we're gonna go to the book of Amos and let's see what Esau will receive. We're gonna go into two books, but we're gonna go to Amos first. We're in the book of Amos, chapter 1, taking at verse 11.
The book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 11.
Go ahead.
Thus saith the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword.
You see that? The Most High said for 3 transgressions that Edom committed, he will not forget and he will not forgive it because they pursued their brother Jacob with the sword. Go ahead.
And did cast off all pity.
And did cast off all pity. You see that? So that means when it came to us, Esau had no pity. And we see that on the news right now. The latest murder was who? What was the guy's name?
Philando.
Huh?
Philando Castile and Alton Sterling.
Alton Sterling. That's the one I was talking about. That's the video I seen. Right? Well, the man is just standing outside just selling CDs and the cops got him pinned down and shot and killed this man in cold blood. These people don't have any pity for us. They never did. We can't expect them to have any pity for them. It's only through the grace of the Most High have them, have grace on and have mercy on a lot of us. But in all actuality, they don't have, those who are in power and in law enforcement, they don't have any pity. Those who are ruling, the ruling class of Esau, don't have no pity for his brother Jacob. Read that part again.
From the top.
Yeah.
Verse 11.
Verse 11, go ahead.
Thus saith the Most High,
Thus save the Most High.
for 3 transgressions of Edom,
Uh-huh.
and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword,
See, he did pursue his brother with the sword
and did cast off all pity.
and did cast off all pity. So the Most High has a future judgment waiting for these guys. Right here, go ahead.
And his anger did tear perpetually.
See, his anger did tear perpetually, meaning this is an ongoing hatred that he have. And it's this same hatred has been passed on from generation to generation to generation until our modern time. That means their fathers is teaching their sons to hate our race, to hate us. That's what it's showing here. Go ahead.
And his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
And he kept his wrath forever. Let's get another scripture. Let's go to Obadiah. This whole chapter is actually just dedicated to Esau and his destruction. You understand? We're in the book of Obadiah. We're going to go to Obadiah. We're going to start at the 15th verse.
941.
Pass it. 940. All right. I'm about to say Obadiah, the 15th verse. It's just one chapter. Obadiah 15. Go ahead. Sorry. Obadiah. Start at verse 10. Excuse me. Start at verse 10.
The book of Obadiah.
And it's the book right after Amos. If you was already in Amos, it's the next book, the very next book after. Everybody there, say Khan. All right,
Verse 10.
go ahead.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and shalt be cut off forever.
Wait, hold on. Just for the listeners out there, and just for edification's sake, go to verse 1, just to see who this scripture is talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 1.
Uh-huh.
The vision of Obadiah.
The vision of Obadiah. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom.
Concerning who?
Edom.
Concerning Edom, also known as who? Esau. Go ahead.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
See, so the Most High is going to raise her up. It's going to raise up the sons and daughters of Edom just to bring them down. Right? Now jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10.
Go ahead.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and shalt be cut off from forever.
You see, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and what?
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
And thou shalt be cut off forever. Right? Continue.
Verse 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them.
So you see that? So even though our people went off and we were sinning and the Most High allowed the other nations to come against us, Esau should have never took part in that. Right? The Most High is saying you guys stood on the other side when the other nations, because believe it or not, don't forget this, the other nations are going to receive their due too, to what they did to us too. I'm talking about the Arabs, the Ishmaelites, right? Moab and Ammon. They're still, all the other nations are going to receive what they're going to receive. But right now, the Most High is talking to who? Esau. So he said, you guys were there when they was carrying away my people captives. And you guys were also one of them. You guys took part in that. Casting lots for my people. Go ahead, continue.
Verse 12.
Yep.
But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger.
You see that? They should never even have looked at that. Go ahead.
Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction.
You see that? They should have never even rejoiced when we were getting destroyed. They were rejoicing. They were happy. Why? Because they understood that the older shall serve the younger. And that two manner of people came out of who? Rebekah. And one shall be stronger. So in all actuality, we are stronger than them, spiritually and physically. Look at the way we age compared to the way they age. Look at a 60-year-old black woman and look at a 60-year-old white woman. See the difference, clear as day. One look like they're in their teens and the other one look like they're half dead. Like, you just sneeze on them, they're gonna freaking fall out. Oh, I'm sorry, you okay? Oh, somebody call ambulance. I think she's dead. She's dying. I just sneezed. She was that old. But continue.
Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
See, neither shalt thou have spoken proudly in the day of thy distress. Go ahead.
Verse 13.
Verse 13, go ahead.
Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity.
See that? Go ahead.
Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
So you see, not only did they lay hand on us and put us in slave ships, they even stole our gold and our silver that was in our temples. They ransacked and took everything. And they're still doing it to this day. They're stealing our wealth. How? What the Most High gave us? Talent. He gave us the ability to sing.
And
Style. Fashion. Like everything that you see going on, they stole it from who? From us. We've been rapping. Now they're trying to promote their rappers, their Iggy Azaleas and their Eminems and what's the other guys? Other two guys? Those two sodomites? Macklemore and the other guys. We've been rapping. We've been doing that. So why are they getting exalted for something that we do naturally? You understand?
Christ was rapping.
Christ was rapping. Yeah, he had crazy metaphors. If you understand what rap is, but everything that we own, everything that we do, they watch us, they demonize it. They say, oh, that's just black people being black people. Then on the flip side, you see them doing it too. Oh, this is the new latest style, new latest fashion, and they all accept it because we did it first. That's how Esau do it. Go ahead.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape.
You see that? So they were trying to, there was even those of us who escaped, they were still trying to cut off a passageway so we can't escape fully. Go ahead.
Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress.
You see that? That's talking about Jerusalem in 70 AD. Those of us who remained in Jerusalem after the prophecy, they were slaughtered and taken, as the prophecy said, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. That's what Esau was responsible for. Go ahead.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
For the day of the Lord is near.
See, for the day of the Lord is near. Go ahead.
Upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
Look at that. It's crystal clear. Everything that they have done unto us shall be repaid to them. Every reward that they rewarded us with, which was not really a reward, they will receive back on their own head, right? But there's a way it's going to happen, right? Now, I know a lot of us in here, sitting here, we might still have some questions like, why is it that the Most High is allowing his people to still be destroyed, knowing that we are the chosen, right? Why is that? We're going back into the Apocrypha. We're going to get some understanding as to why the Most High, is allowing his chosen people to continue to be destroyed. We're in 2nd Ezra, chapter 7. We're going to take it at verse 19. 2nd Ezra, chapter 7 and 19. Let's get some understanding as to why the Most High is going to allow the majority of our people to be destroyed, shot down, and killed in the street by these cops. As unfortunate as it is, and we do feel for our people, there's a reason why this is happening to them, and we have to be the ones to explain that, so that way they can explain. They can escape that. They can escape the hands of our enemies. Go ahead.
2nd Esdras chapter 7, verse 19.
Go ahead.
And he said unto me, There is no judge above the Most Higher, and none that hath understanding above the highest.
You see that? So the first thing we got to understand is what? There is no judge higher than the Most High. Whatever He decrees, that's what happens. That's where it goes, right? And no one has more understanding than Him. Things that we may not understand, He only gives us a glimpse of that understanding. Khan? Right, go ahead.
Verse 20. For there be many that perish in this life.
See, for there be many that perish in this life. Why?
Because they despise the law of the Most High.
Read that again.
For there be many that perish in this life.
There will be many that's going to perish in this life. Why?
Because they despise the law of the Most High.
They despise. That means they hate. They refuse to follow the laws of the Most High. Go ahead.
That is set before them.
That is set before them. So that means everybody had the opportunity. People have the opportunity to follow the Most High, but they choose to do otherwise. Go ahead.
21.
Yep.
For the Most High hath given straight commandment to such as came. What they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment.
See that? So the Most High gives instructions, even though we don't have all understandings, but the things that we can understand, the Most High allows us to have, which is what? His laws and commandments. So He said that I give the people laws and commandments. You follow this and you can live. But if you don't, you will be punished and put to death. It's your choice. So it's like mankind has a choice, and our people as well, they have a choice. Right? Go ahead.
22.
Uh-huh.
Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him,
See that? There it goes. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto Him. Go ahead.
but spake against him.
They spake against Him. I don't need that book, man. Yo, that's the white man's Bible. Oh, yeah? It's the white man's Bible? Prove it to me. Show me this white man's Bible. You're going to be flipping through pages. Can't even show not one white person in this Bible. They only saying these things because they refuse to follow. Right? Go ahead.
But spake against him,
Uh-huh.
and imagined vain things.
And imagine vain things. Go ahead.
23. And deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High, that He is not, and knew not His ways.
Go ahead.
But His law have they despised,
His law have they despised. Go ahead.
and denied His covenants.
And denied His covenants.
In His statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed His works.
There it goes, crystal clear. This is the reason why majority of our people are going to continue getting shot down. Going to get continued disrespected, and just wasted because they refuse to follow the Most High. And it's sad because we see that happening every day, and for those who don't know this, it just gets them angry, and they don't understand why. Right? They don't understand why. So this is why it's our job in here to try to show as much as our people as we can that look, there is a better way. There is really a rainbow at the end of this cloud. You understand? We're gonna receive something, but we have to endure. Right? We gotta put on Christ. Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but through Him. Khan? So since by saying that Christ is the way, let's read what way that he came to give to us, and the understanding of why He had to come to give us freedom from what? Let's go to Luke 1. Take it at Luke 1, verse 68. Luke chapter 1, verse 68.
St. Luke chapter 1, verse 68.
Go ahead.
Blessed be the Lord power of Israel, for He hath visited and redeemed His people.
See, blessed be the power or the God of Israel, because He have what? Visited and redeemed His people. How? Go ahead.
Verse 69.
Uh-huh.
And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of His servant David.
And have raised up a horn of salvation. What is that? Who is that horn of salvation in the house of David? Christ. Yasha'ah. Go ahead.
Verse 70.
Uh-huh.
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets.
So meaning the prophets always spoke about him. If you read through the Old Testament, you see nothing but Christ in the Old Testament. Go ahead.
Which have been since the world began.
Go ahead.
That we should be saved from our enemies.
That we should be what?
That we should be saved from our enemies.
So Christ came to do what? Christ came to do what? Save us from our enemies. And you see, and this is what the Christian church have not grasped yet. They tell you come to the front of the church and just let the pastor put his hand on your hand and say, all right, brother, you saved. All right, I'm saved. Okay, saved from what though? What am I saved from? You know, you just saved. You know, you got your place in heaven. But what about now though? I see my people getting killed now. Like what are they saved from? No answer. Christ came to save us from our enemies. That's what we need saving from. We don't need saving from bills. We don't need that's always going to be there. But we need saving from what's killing us, what's destroying us, what's stealing our culture, what's minimizing us. That's what we need saving from. Go ahead.
Verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies.
See? So even our ancestors understood that we were being saved from something, and that something was our enemies. Go ahead.
And from the hand of all that hate us.
And from the hands of all that hate us. That's what we need saving from. Not wishing to just be up in heaven. We need saving now because where the kingdom is going to be, here on earth. So that's what the Christian theology doctrine wants you to understand. They want you to believe that, all right, you're going to die and go to heaven, or you're just going to be saved and go to heaven. You don't got to worry about nothing else. When the kingdom is actually coming on earth. No one is dying and floating up into heaven. That's not in scripture. The kingdom, according to the scriptures, is going to be here on earth, and we're going to reign with Christ on earth. So in order to reign on earth, we have to subdue what? Our enemies, because our enemies is trying to prevent us to receive what? The kingdom. Now you guys can understand the struggle that we were been born in, because the higher ups, they understand that those are the people that they're killing. These are the people that's supposed to inherit the kingdom. So if we kill enough of them, they're not going to have a kingdom to go to. You understand that? But they didn't understand that the Most High put a back door. That back door was Christ. Christ is going to subdue all our enemies and put them under his feet. And we're going to just walk right into the kingdom. That's how it's going to go. Go ahead.
Verse 72.
Verse 72.
To perform the mercy promised to our fathers.
See, to perform the mercies promised to our fathers being Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Go ahead.
And to remember his holy covenant.
And to remember his holy covenant. What he promised his people. And the Most High is a just power. He's a just God. So he cannot go back on his word. Even though we're unfaithful and we broke the promise, he could never break the promise that he gave to us. So meaning the same promise that he made with our father saying that your children will inherit X, Y, Z, and they will inherit this land and they will get dominion in the kingdom. He has to fulfill that. He has to give it to us. Go ahead.
73. The oath which he swore to our father
Abraham. The oath. You guys want to know what an oath is, right? It's a promise. A promise. He can't break that. He said he got to give us the oath that he swore to our father Abraham. That went on to Isaac, and that went on to Jacob, and that went on to Jacob's 12 children. Go ahead.
74.
74.
That he would grant unto us, that we being delivered out of the hand of our enemies.
You see that? Saying it again. That's what Christ came to do. Deliver us from our enemies. We got to remember that. He came to deliver us from our enemies. And our enemies is those clearly that we can see, those who are killing us. Not just on the streets, but subtly in these hospitals with their vaccine programs. All right? Planned Parenthood, setting up abortion clinics all over our neighborhoods, trying to kill off our race. Is evident. These people don't like us. They make laws stricter on our side than they do for their people. You understand? These are our enemies. We gotta understand that. Because if you don't know your enemy, then you're not gonna know who you're fighting against. You're not gonna know where the attacks is coming from. You gotta know who your enemy is. Go ahead.
74.
Uh-huh.
That he would grant unto us, that we being delivered out of the hand of our enemies.
You see? Go ahead.
Might serve him without fear.
See, now we will be able to serve him without fear. We don't got to worry about somebody questioning us where we going. stopping us and trying to frisk us. All right? We're just standing around minding our own business and getting shot down and killed. We're not going to have to worry about that no more when Christ do away with our enemies. That's the reason why he came. And if he did not, you understand, if you don't understand that he came for that, and you don't understand what he wants you to do, then you're not going to be protected by your enemies. That's the reason why our people is getting gunned down and killed, because they don't understand Christ came for that very reason. Go ahead.
Verse 75.
Uh-huh.
In holiness
And holiness.
and righteousness
Uh-huh.
before him all the days of our life.
So there's going to be a time where we're going to be able to serve him all the days of our lives with no fear, nobody interfering, no one trying to stop us from doing what we want to do naturally. Just hang out, be plain people. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 76.
Uh-huh.
And thou, child, shalt be called the prophet of the highest, for thou shalt go before the face of the Most High to prepare his ways.
Go ahead.
77. To give knowledge of salvation unto his people by the remission of their sins, through the tender mercy of our power, whereby the day spring from on high hath visited us.
Mm-hmm.
79. To give light to them that sit in darkness
Go ahead.
and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace.
So you see that? So this is actually Zechariah speaking about his son being born and being created to prepare the way for who? The Savior. To show us the right way. Right? And what Christ was coming to perform for his people. Gone?
God.
And this is what we have to look forward to. So this is what we have to understand. And this is what we have to know. That this struggle that we've been born into, it's nothing new. Right? So the purpose of this lesson was just for us to identify this struggle. Identify who's making the struggle and what we can do, right, to overcome the struggle. Khan?
God.
And with all that being said, you know, we're going to praise the Most High, give him all praise and honor and glory. We pray that this message reaches those that it need to hear, right? So now we're going to move into the next phase. We're going to go into question and answers. If anybody got any questions, answers. Let me see, why is this frozen like this? You
It's
look
still good. Yeah, it was
okay,
good.
all right. Maybe just on the outside it's frozen. So anybody got any questions that they want to ask about anything? Everybody's crystal clear on what we just learned here? Anybody want to expound? Anybody want to say anything? You don't got to be shy. The camera ain't on y'all guys. Camera's over here. I don't know where they're recording. Okay, so going once, going twice.
The dashboard.
No, this is a different update. Go ahead.
So for the few like people from Edom that are not racist, would that be like maybe like a different lineage of Edom, like how there's Amber, which is like the people that really rule it, or and then there's maybe like a part of Edom that's okay, that it's like Edom in Christ.
Well, it wouldn't be a different lineage of Edom. They're still Edom, but those are the few of Edom that had the choice to either hate us or to do the right thing, and they made the choice, and they took the choice to do the right thing. Because look what the scriptures tells us. Let's go to the book. I think it's Amos. Go to Amos again, because there is a prophecy concerning Edom, concerning those of Edom that will be in their term saved, but not because our salvation is different from Edom's salvation.
Because even in the time of like slavery, there were some people that were hiding in slavery.
Right. There were there and those white people will be considered. You understand? Because not all white people are under the same vein as those white people who truly hate us. Because let's look at the prophecy that the Most High said concerning those of Edom who will be saved. But you guys gonna see why they will be saved. What's their salvation? Let's go to Amos 9 and 11. And I'm happy that you brought that out so that way I could explain that.
Amos chapter 9, verse 11.
We in Amos chapter 9, verse 11. Go ahead.
In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen.
So you see the Most High said he will raise up the tabernacle of David, which is fallen, meaning our kingdom, because our kingdom has fallen, but it's going to come back. Go ahead.
And close up the breaches thereof.
And close up the breaches thereof, meaning no more will the enemy be able to come in and to confuse us and have us serve different gods and us not knowing right from wrong. We will know everything when Christ returns. Go ahead.
And I will raise up his ruins.
And I will raise up his ruins. Go ahead.
And I will build it as in the days of old.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. That they may possess the remnant of Edom.
See, that they may possess the remnant of Edom. Go ahead.
And of all the heathen.
Of all the heathen.
Which are called by my name.
Which are called by my name. Go ahead.
Saith the Most High Ahijah that doeth this.
So you see that? So there's going to be some of the children of Edom and some of the other Gentiles that will be called by the name of the Most High. Why? For our possession. Because when we have a kingdom, we can't just have a kingdom and no one is working the kingdom. You understand? They will be servants in the kingdom. And in this kingdom, they're going to want to serve. There's not going to be a kingdom where they're not going to want to serve. They're going to voluntarily give themselves up to be servants. So those of Esau or the children of Edom who do help us and who don't have that perpetual hatred towards us, they will be sealed to be in the kingdom for our possession. Thus saith the Most High, thus saith the Holy Bible. That answer the question?
Yeah, would that be the same for like maybe like Muslim people that think they're doing the right thing and like worship whatever they're worshiping, like they try to do it correctly?
Yes, that would, because like it also says by the heathens.
Yeah.
The word heathen means Gentile, so it goes for them too. Those, because they're gonna have a choice. Come time when judgment comes, they're gonna have when they see Christ, they're still gonna be Gentiles living. So they're going to have a choice whether to fight against Christ or to be under him. And those who will be under him will be servants. You understand? We possess it as servants and handmaids. I'm going to get another scripture. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it for you. Let's go to the book. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah 60. Let's see now. Wait a moment. Huh? Hold on. All right, so we in Isaiah the 60th chapter. Let's start at verse verse 9. So this is when we're going into Zion. Well, for edification's sake, take it at verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Most High is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Most High shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Go ahead.
And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising.
So even Gentiles will come to this light. This is talking about when the kingdom arises, when we in the kingdom. even the Gentiles is going to flow to it. So that goes to answer your question. Even the different Gentiles that's in different religions, like Arabs or Buddhists or Hindus, they will see this, and then they will want to be a part of it. Watch. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
No, middle of verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. Then shalt thou see, and flow together, and thine heart shall fear, and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
See, the forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee, meaning they will help us at that time. Go ahead.
Verse 6. The multitude of camels shall cover thee.
See that we will receive everything in abundance. Go ahead.
The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come.
Mm-hmm.
They shall bring gold and incense,
See, they shall bring gold and incense. Go ahead.
and they shall show forth the praises of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Verse 7. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance unto mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Who are these that fly as the cloud, and as the doves to their windows? Verse 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Most High, Ahiah, thy power, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee.
So there's going to be times where the fact that we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, different ships are going to be transporting the chosen people back to Zion. That's what that verse is talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
You see that? The sons of strangers shall build up that wall, meaning it's not going to be us building our own walls. They're going to build it. They're going to be working. They're going to be in servitude. Go ahead.
Where was I? Verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
See, the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. Go ahead.
And their kings shall minister unto thee.
See, and their kings, meaning the high prestigious ones of the Gentiles, they will minister unto us, meaning they will be giving us their wealth. We're going to receive it all at the end. Go ahead.
For in my wrath I smote thee,
See, in the Most High's wrath, he smote us. Go ahead.
but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought.
See that? So in the kingdom, when we return to Zion, the gates of that city will never be shut. So why? So the Gentiles could keep bringing their forces to us, meaning their riches unto us, because we have had nothing. You know what I'm saying? Since we came to this place, so now is payback time. Those reparations that we was due, they're gonna give it to us anyways, right? Go ahead, watch. You're gonna hear this now.
Verse 12.
Listen to verse 12 clearly.
For the nation and kingdom
For the nation and kingdom,
that will not serve thee shall perish.
Go ahead.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Crystal clear. So the Bible explains, and the Most High explains that in our kingdom, if any other nation or any Gentile does not fall in line and does not want to serve us, they will be utterly wasted. They will be destroyed. Meaning there's no room for anybody in this kingdom who's not going to serve the Most High's people. Because why? We've been serving these people for a very long time. So let's be fair here. You guys got to serve us now. We're not saying it. The Bible is saying it. So if anybody has a problem with that, they got to go to who wrote the Bible and have a problem with that person, which is the Most High. So they actually have a problem with the Most High. So if anybody want to take this as hate speech, it's not hate speech. Reading the scriptures, doth save the Holy Bible, doth save the Most High. The nations and the Gentiles that do not serve the Most High's chosen people will be utterly wasted and utterly destroyed. Answer the question. Can I answer? Yeah. You got something? All right. Anything else? Kwam Yasharala. Yes. Rise, Israel. We are rising.
We dying, but we rising.
Yeah, we dying, but we rising. All right. What else? Anybody else got anything they want to say? Anybody online? Before we wrap this all up, we're gonna get into other things over here. Okay. And let me before we close it out, I want to thank the sister for stopping by. And I don't know if you want to speak. You want to introduce yourself? No. All right. Maybe next time. All right. Well, with that being said, we're gonna say shalom to everybody online.
Shalom.
We're gonna bid you all Godspeed until we meet you again next week. Same time, same place. Probably different place, but same time. All right. Shabbat shalom.